So big this game, the repercussions certainly will be felt by both clubs. Opening bounce. Good one too, hangs a long time in the air. Both players grounded before the ball got back. And the free kick is going to Barlow for nothing to do with the ruckman. He was being held, lays it off to Subban back in the side. Telling kick inside the forward 50. Up goes Goddard, got a fist on it. In front, Gilbert. Mayne grabs it, well played. Ballantyne comes back towards Pearce to Mayne. Mayne's about 40 metres out, sends it across the face of goal. Johnson, well done by McAvoy, came back and knocked it back across the line.
Good, strong, positive start from Fremantle. We know how well St Kilda start their game, so very assertive move getting the first centre clearance.
Saints have been fantastic starters. They've actually won 14 out of 17 first quarters, including their last 7. Last team to lead them a quarter time of the Pies. So they're on a roll in more ways than one. So let's see if they get the fast start again tonight. D'Alessandro with a little 1-2 with Raf Clark. Speaking of Clark, takes a good mark and asked to play on. Silvani's got the job on Gamble. Kicks the ball inside the 50 to McPhee. Ibbotson and also Mzungo not quite between them. On the up, Dempster got a hard ball from Polo. And then handball back to Gilbert. Back to Clark. Back to Montagna. It's been in pretty good form, Montagna. Handball okay. And now Graham with a steady kick out wide. And Armitage takes a lovely mark in front of a Colossus and Pavlich, and off he goes.
Armitage, the Queenslander, drives it up towards the wing to another Queenslander. Revolt. Crowd celebrate. He's a long way from home. Sets it down towards the attacking 50. Peake had to go. Well, he slipped over as it turned out. It falls to Milne. Bacon goal square. Bounces the wrong way. No stranger to the hostile bounce. Gets his share, but you think back to last year's drawn grand final. He needed something.
Going to have plenty of people back in their forward line, I think, Fremantle. They're not going to allow St Kilda to be having spares back there.
Gee, that was a good kick. Mzunga
had to be good. There wasn't much margin to move there.
So Pearce. He was a late inclusion last week. And the sub. Good kick and nice hands, McPhee.
Oh, there, Sean.
I was going to say celebrated his 200th last week. There wasn't much celebration with that match, was there? Bradley a target. Did well. Fife inboard. Mayne inboard. Hot ball. And Barlow never got balanced, did he? He was unbalanced and then kicked off the wrong leg almost, and it's a poor return.
Oh, there's been a lot of talk about that Fife, but you just saw the poise there to get right spot front and square, have the awareness to fire at the handball, so really positive signs.
Boundary throw in then. Dangerous spot for the Saints. In front, Goddard.
Free kick.
Held early before the ball arrives, so Goddard out of the back pocket. Clears the danger zone, goes to the opposite side. Dempster overcommitted Ballantyne, so Dempster just prods it outside the defensive 50. Peake sends it up towards the wing. Here's trouble. Fisher doesn't waste the foot. He goes in short to Armitage. Armitage forward to the wing, feeds it back to Fisher. Fisher spears a pass and wide of the mark, intended for Revolt. Leading back is Subban, pushed to the back. No free kick. Milne gets the bounce this time.
Yeah, you can see the way this game started of what Fremantle want to do, which is actually to make sure that they get a lot of guys into their forward line, make sure that St Kilda can't get the spare back there, but it's going to be a very open St Kilda forward line if St Kilda can bring it out, and it's going to be fast break football by the Saints tonight, and a couple of times they have initiated that fast break. They've got a couple of scoring shots from it.
See the free kick at the start there, bottom right it is with Goddard and Mayne.
Mayne looks like he's going to try and take the Goddard matchup, I think, Tom.
Physically a good matchup.
Yeah.
Mayne will keep him honest as a forward, but Stephen Milne has just been starting all this game so well, and Freo would want to keep him under wraps.
Tom, you're spot on. He's kicked 43 goals this season, and 19 of those have come in the opening term, Milne. He is a fast starter. And we saw what a fast start here a couple of weeks ago turned into. A coach lost his job.
Yeah.
So, Saints going forward. Revolt up and about. Farron Ray on the bike. He's played 65 out of 68 possible games since going to the Saints, Ray. Short throw in. Fisher took advantage. Stephen got a high ball in. This will be interesting. Hill and Jones working to the front. And Broughton gets it. to Hill, to Lower, to Ibbotson. Did well, Ibbotson, because had he given the first one, there would have been problems. And a nice little kick forward finds Hinkley. He's played very little footy this year again, Hinkley. Gets to McPhee. Mazungo on the burst. Had career high last week against Hawthorn. Not sure about that. He put Hinkley in real sorts of trouble. Main one-handed, not quite. And then Blake to Jones. Main might have hurt himself, I think. And now Graham.
Main doesn't look too good. Meantime, Graham thought he was foxing, I think. Didn't want to go near him. Suddenly could have sprung to life.
Main's in trouble here.
He's on his feet, but he almost looks very dazed, doesn't he?
Yep. Montagna's got it from Stephen. Goes in short. This is Graham. In the background, you can see Main. Now the blood rule. So he's coming off, trying to get up into a jog.
Not good to see Main coming off with the blood rule, but a good result for Freo. We'll just have a look at how this happened here. Yeah, just a clip of the elbow from Blake. But due to the fact that Main hadn't come off the ground, it obviously had the overlap in the free St Kilda play, which orchestrates their uncontested play. So they were away then, saved by the blood rule of sorts.
Yeah. So the injury just under his Main as he goes across towards Jones. Jones drives it towards the outer side. Montagna stifles the bounce, does well. Goes inside the forward 50. Well, Milne helped Grover to the ball that time, trying to nudge him under it, and the ball's gone out of bounds. Milne appealing for a free there for deliberate, but Grover played it very well. Kept his balance. It was an involuntary move forward and just made sure he connected with the footy. This is Polo, ran into a dead end, bounces off his head. Goddard, head down, and we'll have a ball up. It's about 40 metres out from the Saints' attacking goal, and they lead it by 6.
Respective coaches. What different seasons have had. Slow starting Saints, moving in a different direction to the Dockers of late. Barlow gets back to Pavlich. Just a fumble from the champ, and then forced over the line. Had big numbers, Pavlich, but not many goals this year, obviously playing in the midfield. Oh, that's a poor kick coming out from Silvani. That was slack, really. And well done, Mazungo, in a contest and gets a high one. Well, against all the odds.
Yeah, did that really well. Drew the free kick. It was a sloppy kick from Silvani. Their best result would have been the ball going out and they could start again, but this is probably just as effective.
Gee, what an interesting player he's been. I mean, a mature age recruit. He's had a really solid season. Has he had a big impact in Perth, Dennis Mazungo?
Oh, well, he was a cult figure from his first game in the NAB Cup, wasn't he?
Yep.
And the name helped. We do have some exotic players in Perth, Bruce, as you know. So chain of hand passes, comes across to Jones. He kicks it down towards the wing, and the mark is taken down there by Revolt. Wheels around, centers the ball. Nice kick, Schneider. Runner outside, decides to go in that direction. Well, short of the player who was storming down the outer side wing, he's found this man dropping back instead. It's Stephen.
Just watching what Fremantle are trying to do. They're trying to actually get the free man, which is Silvani at the moment. I assume to get in the space of Revolt, but he's actually, you can just see him on the screen at the top of the screen there, but he needs to actually be in front of Revolt, not trying to get the second kick back. Really caught in no man's land. Shouldn't have been able to get a free kick.
Isn't he noticeably bigger in the shoulders than he was even at the start of the season, Stevens? He's much more mature looking.
So Stephen then from 40 metres out has tugged this one to the left. It's trying to work back, hits the post. It's interesting because Polo was storming down the outer side. The harder of the two to find was in fact Stephen. So Main, because he's got blood on the jumper, will have to get another one. Short one came in from Duffield. Barlow, second attempt in this passage of play. Knocked down by Gilbert, goes across to Armitage, kicks inside the 50 again. Going back is Lower, got a fist on it. Barlow, clever. Silvani back to Lower. Mzungu feeds it inside, stolen away by Del Santo. Gilbert straight across towards Schneider. In two minds, goes to Gilbert. Man on in the pocket. Just waiting, Kazitsky. He was there for an eternity.
Snyder's reaction, he took the mark, and maybe the umpire was going to tell him to play on, but he almost as if it was an advantage rule, and he took a couple of steps and said to the umpire, no, I don't want it. But I don't think he had a choice.
Well, the vagaries.
Strange reaction.
Just there it was, wasn't it? Yep.
Strange reaction.
The vagaries of the rule made Vega. Beautiful kick, though, from Kazetsky. Puts it through. Good start now by the Saints. They're up by 14. Fremantle need to hold.
Just finding the footy much better secured at this point of the game. They're, as they are, they're fast starters, and they've done it again.
Just see Silvani on the screen. He's trying to free himself up to get in revolt space at the moment. He's got the job on Gamble. Interesting to note the tackle count there. Both these sides are high tacklers. Fremantle in particular, one of the top sides at tackling. It's not being played out in the contested situation at the moment.
Johnson read it okay. Bradley in the ruck, and then Johnson going for goal. That's going to be close. McPhee had a bit of it and getting back Clark. Well, it was on target, but I guess McPhee had to go for it.
And we see if Fremantle are trying to play man-to-man on the kick-ins, and that's they'll find the first targets in Kilda, but then it's more difficult to find the second one.
Gee, that obviously...
That looked a fair bit out of bounds, didn't it?
Well, it's Polo's birthday today, Lee. He's 25. I think he's just received a present.
Just got the present.
So, down the line he goes. Revolt pushed out of it, free kick. What do you reckon, Tom? A week off a Revolt last week, I mean, at this time of the year?
Oh, absolutely gold. I mean, obviously not the circumstances you want to have a week off, but they've been marching pretty strongly at the moment, the Saints, and freshen up their skip is a great result.
So Blake back in the team, hasn't been there for a couple of months. Here is the birthday boy, so to speak. Kick to contest, Gamble and Silvani closing. Barlow, well read. Doesn't look like he's moving all that well still, but he can find the footy. He's good at that.
I'll say, alongside the centre circles, he was pushed through the legs of Main, goes back with courage, wins the footy. Hand pass to no one in particular. He was under pressure. Jones to Peake. He's breaking, has the one bounce. Two. Will he take a third? No, he elects to kick, miscues with a kick completely. Bounces to Pavlich. He'll bring it out for the Dockers then, finds Johnson. But no rebound opportunity, at least on this side. As he looks down, plenty of Saints greet him.
I must say, if you're St Kilda, you'd be happy for Pavlich to be getting the ball in the back 50. Feel more comfortable out of the goal-scoring range, I would have thought.
Duffield goes back to Johnson. So he's got the ball at right half back. They trail by 13 points, the Dockers. Needing a goal. Very slow last week. Hawthorn were over 50 before Fremantle kicked their first goal. And in the rain, it was always hard to get back. The ball's out of bounds.
So Milne and Kaczynski, a couple of the veterans with the goals in the opening quarter so far. Bradley will be the second ruckman with Clark tonight. Zungu's had a good start to the match.
You see some of those stats there, the contested possession one. Fremantle have the highest percentage of contested possessions out of all sides in the competition, and St Kilda matching them in that area. You reckon that will lead to an uncontested game from the Saints?
So Johnson on the bottom of that, and again a ball up.
And there you go, they're winning the ball out. The cold face, the Saints have been able to flick it out and get their running game going.
As this is going on, St Kilda are just swapping opponents to try and release the defender they want into a bit of space clear.
That was clever by Bradley, building forward. Can Barlow get to it? He does. Back to 5, and unfortunately they run out of room, and a boundary throw in.
Barlow's made some start too. He's got 8 possessions. We've gone, what, 10 minutes? Mind you, not all of them have been good. His kicking hasn't been blemish-free. Kaczynski's in front, knocks it down. I would imagine that's Barlow in there again. He just does that sort of thing. What's the betting? Oh, there you go. Got lucky, Bruce.
Not for the first time either.
Hangs in the air. Over the ball, Fife. He's tackled immediately by Graham.
You look at this play, there's a lot of players around the footy, but St Kilda has still been able to generate the spare man in their back 50. They do it so well.
OK, Tim, what's happening down there?
Well, Hill, Fife and Ballantyne are their key playmakers for Fremantle. At this stage, they've only had one possession between them. So Jones, Graham and Dempster doing terrific jobs.
I think you can throw Broughton into that mix as well.
So Milne quickly to Ray. And then Ray, nice looking kick to Gamble. He had the short with Revolt, but he went the long option to Gamble. Gamble uncertain he was going to go.
They're creating space for St Kilda forwards. When they lead, they're dropping off their the Fremantle defenders on the outside, spoiling distance.
No goals his last two. Kicked 4 against Port before that, equal career high. But he's been getting a fair bit of the ball, so I think he's been doing the job. That one does it straight. No, doesn't quite get the distance. And it's a behind. You know him better than us, Tom. I mean, a cat had one pretty good year for Geelong, never quite made it, did he?
I think he's starting to find his feet. He has a bit of an awkward goal-kicking style. He almost kicks off the instep sometimes. Very reliable with snaps and those sorts of things. Set shots, although it was 8 goals 3, not the most reliable going out.
So the margin 14 points, Duffield to himself. Spots Barlow just outside the defensive 50. He's a remarkable player. Gives it across to Subin. Too much carry on the kick. Gamble takes the mark in behind Lower. Pumps it back inside the 50. Well, almost. Milne storms up the ground, takes the mark. Revolt on the lead. Oh, it's looking ominous for the Dockers. Revolt, short. Milne marks right on the 50. Comes up, barking the instructions. Loves to do that. Ian Ballantyne, I think you'd call them infuriators. He's infuriated.
He wasn't happy with that, Mark.
I'll tell you one thing, Mark Harvey's starting to look younger though, doesn't he? Really happens in coaching. There's the kick and it's a behind. May have brushed the post, did it?
In what way, Dennis, is Mark Harvey starting to look younger?
Well, he just looks younger to me. I don't know. Almost boyish. That's what kids do, they hit the phone.
It just looked like he was listening to you, as you were saying. He was smiling, eating the phone. Almost being babyish, wasn't he?
If only my kids had listened.
McAvoy. Fife clever to Main, to Clark. That's a long kick now. Can Hinkley get back? Probably could have taken the mark in the end, Blake, and belts the ball over the boundary line.
Might just be a sign of just a little bit of lack of confidence from Blake. He clearly had the run of the ball. He was up against Hinkley, a smaller opponent.
Not
did the
confident, easy to go 2 hands.
Yep.
He's missed the last 8, Blake.
Yeah,
so
sure.
he's back in the team. Dawson obviously suspended. Dempster's little give to Kazitsky, and then Goddard and Main. So boundary thrown. So the Dockers need a goal, don't they? They've been inside 50 a few times. They need a goal here. They actually had a fair bit of ball against the Hawks last week. They just couldn't convert. And as Dennis said, basically the game was over within about 20 minutes. 6 goals to 0 in the rain. McAvoy, Montagna, got out too easy, didn't it? And then Schneider belting to a one-on-one. If this gets over the back, there's problems. But
Go back behind.
Grove held up well. Now Silvani in the back half. Could he use it? He asks a bit of 5, but he'll get him.
Takes the mark just short of left half forward. Not much movement up ahead. Bradley offers. Nobody deep, so he has to go short. Finds Polo. Not his intention. Clark confronted. Gilbert. Oh, good smother. Opportunity now for Pearce. Sends it inside the forward 50. Reaching over the top was Ray. Thumps it towards the boundary line. It goes out.
Just looking at the Fremantle backline, we've mentioned a couple of times, Silvani's the player who's trying to free himself up. I think Rover, although he's consumed by Milne, or at least Duffield might be the man to free up. I think he'd be more creative across half-back.
That was a great smother. I'm going to ride my luck and say it was either Ibbotson or Broughton who did the smothering. That's sort of like the daily double. I'll go for Broughton. There's the kick out wide from Kazetsky. Running back with the flight of it. Well, Peake still in position, held without him. I was going to say the ball eluded him, but somehow it found him again. He was held without the footy. Has it now. Goes short. Barely the 15. Jones. He's about 70 metres out. Kicks it down towards the boundary. Not his intention. He was looking for Gamble. It got to Gamble on the bounce and out of bounds.
When they had that set kick into their forward line just earlier, Fremantle, you just can't find any space. St Kilda just get back and block that up.
Because he got the tap. Del Santo, Mzungu with him. And then Polo goes to ground. No free kick. And now Polo has to get it out. Mzungu and Stephen from the front. So gang tackle there for a ball up. Stephen and Dal Santo on Mzungu. So here we go, Dennis.
Oh.
Well, one out. What did Meatloaf say? One out of, no, he said 1 out of 2 or 2 out of 3. But you got what, how many goes did you have?
Hand me the team list.
Fife, that was, Dennis.
It was Fife. We sung his praises before the game. What did I say? Reminds me of George Young, but at the time he reminded me of no one. In fact, he reminded me of Broughton and Ibbotson. Boundary throw in right on the 50. No more guesses. High ball from Polo. Comes straight down, almost on Polo's head. He walks away in disgust with his own effort. It goes down towards the pocket. Here's McFarlane, well done by the veteran. And Barlow moves into double figures. Plays on. For a man with a limp, he does very well.
He is bad. I mean, does that turn, the ball follows him, but he just keeps getting where the ball goes. He's got fantastic judgment of reading the play of where the next possession is to be had.
But Lee, you would remember Gunsmoke. He moves like Chester.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, still, those broken legs take a bit of coming back from, don't they, in your full normal running gait.
Don't test me on this, Bruce. I've got some trivia on Gunsmoke.
Well
Oh, I just loved it.
Long Branch Saloon. Miss Kitty.
Well, Polo's his direct opponent and probably just giving him far too much space at the moment.
Could be a good cowboy, couldn't he, Barlow? So
Yeah.
Montagna and Mzungu, who's not far behind. Barlow, again Barlow. I'm going to start counting, Dennis, I can tell. Duffield, that's a lovely kick to Hill, who should go. Jones to try and run him down, and that's a neat-looking goal. Oh, no! Wow, you can see an absolute road crash coming.
What about the courage? He's come off with the blood rule, and he did not flinch one bit there. That was extraordinary.
That was two players who, with both eyes on the ball. So when the free kick was in the...
Chris, that's your line. You're right on it. Mark's here.
Not sure.
Well, surely that wasn't a mark.
Clear out, fish.
Great bit of courage, but geez, no way that was a mark.
Well, let's see if he can convert.
Bit of good fortune. At least the courage got him his good fortune.
He's been in poor set shots this year. He's had 14-17, so less than 50%. That's a good kick. So he's had an eventful opening term, Main. He gets an important goal.
Let it go away. Have a chat to Main. Tell him not to get in the face and risk giving a free away.
Got to say, it was hard to watch. I had to look away when that was about.
Yeah, you could
Mark Harvey too.
you could see that was a nasty collision there in the offing. I don't know whether the was it Bradley might have seen him coming and just was able to slightly avoid the contact.
Bit of verbal jousting. Main did terrifically well. And Lee making the point. Maybe Bradley just eased out as best he could and went to ground at the last minute. But certainly Main had no idea that was happening. Although you wonder what the kick was for.
Tackle.
It's going to be a free kick. I think it'll go to Fisher. Just a heck of a player, Fisher. Alongside the centre circles. Drives it deep inside the 50 and Revolt. Body to body with McFarlane. So talented overhead. And Revolt made it look easy.
Good contest that. He's a good player, McFarlane. He's been in excellent form as a key position player, and Rewald probably had a 55% chance at the footy, and that was enough for him to make sure of it.
And again, I say again because that's been his problem over the last month and a half. Just missing goals he needs to kick. And some of it has been difficult to watch. I remember when he first started, he came into the AFL and he was a dead-eye dick. You'll have to see the figures over his first, I reckon, season and a half. He didn't miss too often, but now it really is, as I say, an exercise in crossing your fingers.
Long ball out, McPhee a target. Then Hill getting down low, was lower actually. And then Stephen looking for it to come out. Gilbert and Lowe put a good smother on. So the Dockers have done all right here. I mean, the Saints have had a lot of shots and the Dockers are within 10 points. If they can get another one before quarter time, they'll feel like they're in this match. This was always going to be the challenge. Clark can't get a run of it. McAvoy. Gee, Pavlich and Fisher interesting together there again. Dal Santo. Both sort of running through the midfield a bit at the moment, the two of them. That would be an interesting matchup, wouldn't it? Fisher on Pavlich.
And this one's an absolute ripper too. Goddard only the one disposal so far. Just off camera, there's a bit of argy-bargy, push and shove.
So maybe a couple of little battles being won by the Dockers as well in this opening turn. Mzungu, Fisher, release Stephen, well done. And then Stephen, neat-looking kick to a contest forward. McFarlane won that battle against Revolt. Pavlich clever to 5-5, kept it down to lower. Mzungu, and then Mzungu's kicks a beauty to Clark. So it's 50.
I think that Dempsey could see he was probably going to flick the little hand pass to Ballantyne, just overplayed it a fraction. Gave the umpire the opportunity to pay the 50.
And what he needed to do also was probably have a bit more urgency pushing forward with the 50-metre penalty, but
Pavlich just lurking behind Clark, took the hand pass, quick thinking by both players, and St Kilda slow to get a man on the mark, so it made it easier. Pavlich just missing. Only his second possession. Gamble has it on the outer side, over the top. Peake has been industrious so far. Goes down towards half forward. Ray. Two West Australians combining. Ray looks back inside. Montagna haven't called his name too much, and now it's going to be 50. Is it holding? Revolt.
50 metres from there, greater. Nick, 50 from there.
So it's the greater
Bring it
penalty.
down, Matt, bring it down.
Yep.
About there, Brett. I'll take it in.
Yep.
About there.
Right here.
Barron Road.
Yep.
Yep.
So Ray.
It's a free kick here. 50 metres. It was paid. I'll explain in a sec. Yep. I'll explain after the kick.
Oh, okay. So Ray's got the footy.
It was a free
Gets
kick.
the 50. It was going to be the Revolt. He's been held.
Yeah, Revolt holds, so it's a 50-metre advancement of the mark.
So Ray, with that advancement, comes in and kicks the goal. And advances St Kilda's lead. 24 plays 9.
Who's that? Polo. Okay. Yeah, hey.
Bit of dobbing going on, I think.
still waiting for the explanation.
In between play. No, but basically it would have been a free to Rewald just in the bottom of camera here. So that free kick was paid, but in fact the 50-metre penalty takes you closer to goal, which is what happened. We see the free kick bottom left of the screen here. Rewald would have got the free kick. Umpire blows the whistle, but in fact the mark has advanced further closer to goal than that Rewald free kick.
She didn't look a whole lot in that, to be honest. We were a fair way away, but got a good view. McFarlane and Revolt again. Back to Schneider. Knew that he had Gamble or Revolt wide. Gamble 45 metres out. Not a bad-looking kick right there. And a rush through for a behind in the end. Broughton front spot. So the Saints now getting a good lead. Their average lead in the last 4 matches has been 23 points at quarter time. And in that time, no team has kicked more than 1 goal against them in the opening term.
Been solid.
So the pattern continues.
Brett Peake. Every time St Kilda come out of defence, Peake is the player breaking to space on the wing.
Jones just belts it forward. And back goes Duffield. Silvani, that's a good kick. So still plenty of time for either team to improve their position. Pearce wants it over the back for 5. Went early 5, did a terrific job. Coming in to help him, Hinkley. Can he get the ball out? Almost. Johnson, Fife waiting for the ball to come clear. Saints do really well and hold it up. And it'll be a ball up between centre wing and half forward.
Inside 50, 17-9. They've done a pretty good job in a way. Inaccuracy to St Kilda and has kept Fremantle still in the contest.
Clock running down, just over a minute to go. Bradley over the shoulder. Stephen, well, it could have been taken over the shoulder. Pearce, Ibbotson trying to get through. Still going, Ibbotson. Graham did well. Feeds Schneider. Schneider breaks away from half back. Kaczynski on the lead, just lays it off. Armitage goes down towards half forward. Too tall for Revolt. They need it to go out of bounds, the Saints, and like an obedient dog, it does. We'll have a boundary throw in inside the 50. Lucky break for the Saints. Ibbotson tried hard to get through, but Couldn't find a way through the maze. Whoops. What about that? Mark is taken in defence by Silvani, coming off a stellar game last week. Well, Gilbert will have a play on this one. Comes up and takes a terrific mark.
In a pretty good spot too for the Saints. And here's Peake, who Lee's talked about, the ex-Docker.
He just runs so hard. He is continually pushing to receive when a St Kilda teammate has the footy.
Great article in the Herald Sun about Brett Peake today with Maurice Cole, the surfing guru down in Torquay, and the mentor role that he's played in his development this year.
And he loads it up, Peake, and gives it a lovely ride. Was it touched? I don't think so. He's kicked a goal.
Oh, no.
Come in. Just let us deal with it. Just walk away. Let's just go back to the line. Go back to the line. What did you see? I'm 110% certain that it was touched. Okay, the Steve thinks it's touched. It's touched. Okay, all clear.
They tend to get it right most often when they have the little conference, don't they? Because they always go to the lower score. If any doubt, goes to a behind.
I'll tell you what, from a defensive point of view, whether it's touched or not, you probably would have preferred them coming from at the ball as opposed to cross the ball. The risk element to actually get your fist on it is much greater when you float across the pack.
It's interesting, though. So the boundary umpire can pull rank over a goal umpire when they disagree. And the goal umpire says not touch, and the boundary umpire says touch, and they go with the boundary umpire. I thought the goal umpire was there to adjudicate. Anyway, it's 3 goals, 8 to 1
I like your thinking. I like your thinking. It's odd.
It is odd.
Yes.
So I'll do the calling. Tom, you do the expert stuff.
Well, what's not odd is
you get us to the break.
Well, I'm agreeing with you, Bruce. Yes, it's 3-8 to 1, 3/4 time on Friday Night Football. Fremantle need to get a hurry up.